And welcome back to Who Would Win. I believe we're on part 5 now of the What If We Said Adopted Goku. Last we left off, Goku had defeated Frieza. The androids had been taken care of. The androids are still around. They are just basically kept in check because Goku could easily crush them like bugs. Vegeta and Nappa and Raditz had all flown off, but Raditz had flown off in his own direction. Basically, he may or may not come back into the fray. Vegeta and Nappa will definitely come back into the fray. But we left off with the mysterious disappearances happening in, I can't remember, South City, one of the cities. Obviously due to Imperfect Cell searching for the androids. So they hear about this, and initially Goku's the one who goes to investigate. Finds the dead people, the clothes, and he can sense sort of what has happened here. And then he hear the na 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 na, Mr. Sandman, give me a dream. And you get Cell coming in, just being creepy and all that. Unfortunately, this is Goku, who's basically God at this point. And they have a brief conversation. He's like, my brothers insisted I will endure them and become a whole. It's like, then Goku immediately just proceeds, and Cell tries to attack Goku, but Goku, even in base form, can just whip Cell's ass at this point. So he just, boom, manhandles him, and eventually just takes him out. So yeah, there's the Cell arc for you. There's nothing to really write home about. Cell could try to like Solar Flare and get out of there, but Goku can easily probably pick up his energy and location, even with suppression. Just from training under Whis and Beerus for so long, he can probably sense energy on a far greater scale than anyone else could. So there you have it, which basically leads us now to the 7-year time skip and the time of peace before the next martial arts tournament. Now, during that time, Goku was going to still be off and on Earth. He'll still head back home to Whis and Beerus and, train every now and then with them. Gohan will, eventually, will occasionally train with them as well. Gohan probably has reached the ability to do Super Saiyan God as well through periodic training. But like his mom, is also a brilliant individual mentally. He's a genius. So you've got a Super Saiyan God with a genius and a good student. He's a little spoiled, but I imagine that Goku being the dad kind of tapers out the spoiled bratness that Trunks initially had. So with Vegeta and all that, and being spoiled. But during say the halfway point, and Krillin and 18 do hook up, so they have Mirren and all that. But during the halfway point, you have the reemergence of Vegeta and Nappa. Now, they come back to Earth, and I would imagine at this point Goku is currently just chilling out, training with his dad on his planet, as he will, his home. Gohan is still at home though. Gohan, is busy, with his studies, things along those lines. He is. Where would he be actually? That's a good question because Gohan was 11. 7 years, he'd be 18. Really? Yeah, he'd be 18, wouldn't he? Yeah. So then do the halfway mark of the 7 years. So Gohan's about 15 right now, give or take. So again, he can pretty much go Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 as Super Saiyan God if he has to. Power-wise, that's a good question where we put him power-wise right now. Because, he with a lot of training, he's definitely at the minimum his Cell Games level. We'll even go a little higher. We'll say that at Super Saiyan, let's say he's Goku level in the Buu Saga. So Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. Super Saiyan's a 3 billion, Super Saiyan 2's 6 billion. So he's about Goku level strength at this point. Then you factor God in, and it goes to a whole new echelon. But Vegeta and Nappa arrive back on Earth, and everyone senses it. A lot of the Z fighters have gotten stronger, though. Like Yamcha and Krillin have. Yamcha definitely pretty much almost certainly gave up martial arts. Krillin kind of did, but it was more because he was raising a family. Tien, though, has still gotten stronger. Piccolo still trains immeasurably. Kami's still around, too. So you do have the Dragon Balls there. So you have Vegeta and Nappa come back, and right off the bat, power-wise, remember, this has been about, I want to say 7 years since they've disappeared. They've been doing God knows how much training, and through sheer rage and tenacity, Vegeta has reached Super Saiyan 2 at this point. 7 years worth of training, yeah, he's done it. Nappa has even Nappa has even reached Super Saiyan. Not Super Saiyan 2, but Super Saiyan. Now, power wise, these guys are both probably easily pushing a couple million respectively. Vegeta's probably in like say the third because he doesn't have any other extra training methods like the gravity chamber or anything like that. So let's say with 7 years of hardcore training, hitting Super Saiyan and Nappa hitting Super Saiyan, Vegeta's a respectable 30, maybe 35 million, and Nappa would be about 10 million. So, through a lot of Zenkai's training, all that, they've reached a very solid power level threshold. So they come back and they're starting to recap, and they said they want Kak. It's like, we want your father, boy. It's like it's time for that low class loser, low class son to know where he belongs and all that. And we'll start by taking over this planet. And then Piccolo and Gohan just like, no, you're not. Piccolo would not be as strong as he is in the initial canon because he didn't never fused with Kami in this scenario, and Gohan easily can just take on either of these guys. So Gohan, immediately is able to keep up with both Vegeta and Nappa, though admittedly there is some difficulty because at about 60 million, he's not. He's definitely overpowers them both, but there's still at least some difficulty of taking two opponents on at the same time, particularly because they're both the warriors born and raised on the battlefield. So even though he is trained by Goku and Whis and Beerus, they've still just had more on the battlefield experience. So eventually, it's like, let's show you what we can really do. And then, Nappa and him both power up to Super Saiyan. It's like, you think that's something? I can go even further beyond. And, goes to Super Saiyan 2, and he's about 3 billion for his power level. So he's just. They're now dominant. They now quickly just bum rush Gohan. It's like, what can you do, boy? What can you do? And then Gohan just decides, and then powers up. So he's immediately as strong as Goku or as Vegeta is. Gohan, though, is still a bit more pacifistic, I guess we'll call it. He's a bit more pacifist than Goku is. So he immediately he doesn't want to kill these guys if he can't help it. But he immediately just one-shots Nappa, who he's about, math-wise, doing math in my head, 6 times stronger than. And Vegeta and him go toe-to-toe, which Vegeta is just dumbfounded. He's like, how could this half-breed, he's just as strong as I am. And he only transformed once. I'm in the second state. All the power. It's not fair. It's not fair. How can it? And he gets a rage boost, which I wouldn't say doubles his power, but puts him like around 4 billion at that point. So it's a good, hefty increase the rage boost, which does cause him to overpower Gohan a bit. And Gohan's a bit surprised. He gets a good solid blast in a Gohan. Gohan's like, okay, fine. Then he powers up to Super Saiyan 2. And then again, the fight commences again with Gohan beating on Vegeta. He's like, that's it. I've had it with this. You will not make a fool of us again. And he's about to, get it, gun, fire. And he's about to, and he blasts. And, Gohan's got, try to block it. And he's blocking with Super Saiyan 2, but Vegeta's now using every last bit of strength. I do believe his tail got ripped off. So he can't go Uzaru again. He's just blasting down on Gohan's like, it's like, and Gohan basically powers all the way down, which the blast is now just almost encompassing him and about to just obliterate the planet. And Vegeta's just happy that it's like, yes! And then all of a sudden, out of the purple beam, there's this bright fire of red that is enveloping him, that's enveloping Gohan and the inside of his Galick Gun. And he's like, what? What is this? It's like, no. And he remembers the red that Goku's like, no. No, not him. Not this half-breed. It's not possible. And then Gohan just Super Saiyan God Gohan emerges like, dude, that celestial music pops in. And it's like, no. It's like, I will destroy. And then, Gohan's now just boom, 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 blocking. It's like, you're done here, Vegeta. Go, leave, and never come back. No, this will not be the end of it. This will not be how it ends. Vegeta at this point is just blind rage. Nappa is kind of starting. He's like, Vegeta. It's like Vegeta. It's like we want to lose, Nappa. And then he throws it. Nappa, who still does have his tail, throws a moon up. Nappa, look at it, eat us. And then he transforms into Ozaru. It's like Ozaru Nappa's there. It's like, now what are you going to do, boy? Now what are you? And then, but Gohan just looking at him again, just boom, just knees him in the stomach real quick, just and then he throws him down. Immediately just goes in, takes out Nappa like that, takes out his tail, and they're done. So now you got these two broken Saiyans again on the ground, just and Gohan it's like I'm a lot like I'm even worse than my dad. I don't want to do this, but if you threaten my home or you threaten the people I care about, you threaten my mom, my friends, anyone, I will kill you. Because he's probably had some lessons with Piccolo at this point, and Piccolo's taught him about, being decisive in these actions. So, it's just one of those things that, Gohan knows. It's like, you're not going to give me a choice. Like, never, we'll never surrender. We'll never. It's like, I didn't think, and Gohan just has a very sad side. He doesn't want to do it. He's never had to kill someone if he didn't have to. But being trained by Piccolo, Goku, who's trained by Whis and Beerus, being around Beerus and Whis, he also understands that sometimes there's got to be a balance in the universe, and these guys are disrupting things. So he does what he has to do, and just boom, he incinerates Vegeta and Nappa, and it's Gohan who does the deed. Meanwhile, the Whis has been looking in on this the whole time, while Goku and Beerus are getting good solid match in. Should say that at this point, I will say that Goku can willingly go into can go at least into Ultra Instinct Omen at will. Take some concentration, but at will. Can't do Master Ultra Instinct. You just can't do that because the way it works with him is just he can't do it without breaking his limits. But through a lot of training, he has figured out how to ultimately do Ultra Instinct Omen at will. And fun enough, Beerus has also figured that as well. I would imagine just a lot of training with these two, and Beerus has figured that as well. Again, though, neither of these guys have mastered it, but they've gotten a lot better, and Beerus is just happy to have someone near his level that he can really get a good, solid fight. And Beerus loves a good fight as well as food. So Whis is looking at this, and saying, "Hey, Dad, what are you looking at?" "Oh, nothing, son. Just checking in on the homestead. Everything's fine." I was like, I was like, all right then. And then goes back to sparring. So Goku would appear later on, and basically he would talk to Gohan about what happened, and Gohan would explain eventually, and saying, "You did what you had to do, son. I'm sorry I wasn't here to protect him, but it's good to know that at some point when I'm not here, you can still be here. The Earth does still have someone strong to protect him." It's like, "Thanks, Dad." It's like, yeah. So yeah, you'll cut to the martial arts tournament. Satan's still a world champ because I don't think anyone of these guys besides maybe Yamcha or Krillin or Tien would really care about the martial arts tournament in this case. But all things considered, they might decide to participate. Actually, you know what? I don't think they would. I don't think any of them would really have any interest in it. They can always spar with each other if they want. So really, I have to take that back. But Shin and Kibito show up to the World Martial Arts Tournament, and they're looking around. There's no real strong fighters, and really Bobity's just trying to look around for. They steal some of the fighters' energy. I will say I will say they're there, but they're probably not participating. Gohan probably is there to support Videl, who he does end up meeting. Although I don't imagine that. He does the whole Great Saiyan Man thing, because this is not the same Gohan. So he's there to support her, and gets her butt kicked by Soja. Gohan wants to come out of the stands and just beat the crap out of the Svovovich, but ultimately he can't do that. Gohan goes and basically heals her thanks to a healing technique he learned, I would imagine, from Whis. Meanwhile, now see, here's the thing. I would imagine that despite everything, Shin and Goku have never met. Or at least Goku knows who Shin is, but Shin does not know who Goku is. Simply because Whis would explain the whole, deal with this, the Kai and the Gods of Destruction. So Goku would know who Shin is, and immediately sees him like, "Why is the Supreme Kai doing here?" It's like, so Goku would just say hi, introduce himself, like, "Oh, hello there, Goku. You must be this Goku I've heard so much about." And it's like, yeah, he might have heard Goku's name, but doesn't actually know who he is. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm Goku, and with Shin being, a Kai, can sense divine ki, and he senses a lot within Goku. He's like, what? And then he senses it within Gohan. Just like, my words, like, yeah, well, we should probably talk. What? May I ask? It's like, so tell me, Shin, what is the Supreme Kai doing here? And Shin now is actually, he's like, oh, what? He knows who I am. It's like, yeah, we need to talk. And then he explains, it's like, and then Shin is just flabbergasted by this whole thing. So it's like, well, will you be participating? Oh no, we're just here to support Gohan's girlfriend. It's like a dad. He's like, yeah, well, she is your girlfriend. So, um, she's like, well, we're hunting Babidi, and explains Majin Buu and all that. And well, I mean, if Majin Buu is such a threat, I mean, why don't we just should Beerus be maybe taking care of him? After all, he kind of is asserting him as a destroyer. Oh well, it's like that. Well, Beerus is usually too asleep. Yeah, Beerus is awake. It's like, what? Yeah, Beerus has been awake for a while now. We have been having a lot of good sparring sessions lately. It's like, wait, what do you mean Beerus is awake? Beerus is like sleeping all the time. It's like, no, ever since he woke up last time, he takes like only a couple months nap now. We get a good exercise. He comes down every night. We have a good meal, a good family potluck, good times. And now it's like Shin's just like flabbergasted. Like, Kibito, remind me to have a conversation with him. So they explain Babidi, and and Goku, or Shin says someone's maybe gonna have to use their power to lure Babidi in, and Gohan suggests that they suggest Gohan because of the scenario with Videl, and so it is, and so he gets his stuff absorbed, or his energy absorbed, and then they quickly heal him up, go after them. Majin Buu's nearly at full power. But you have Goku, who is there. Piccolo. You got all the Z fighters. Gohan's there again. Hello, little spider. Gohan's there. There's no Vegeta, obviously. Deborah comes out, but Goku and Gohan actually immediately take care of Deborah. I mean, Krillin and Piccolo immediately get turned to stone because they got spit on, but then they immediately take out Deborah and just and then they turn back. It's like, what happened? It's like, oh, you got turned. So I was like, Deborah, what happened? It's like, everything happened so fast. How did he? My Deborah? And then Pui and Yakan try their best and they fail, and then Goku and Gohan both just Super Saiyan God show off their divine ki. Babidi's pissing his little pants at that point. It's like, and then they just waste him, and they pretty much just waste Buu in the capsule, so nothing happens there. So the Buu arc pretty much comes to an end. Now we come to an interesting thing. How does Super end up going? So, well, by Super's point, I'll be honest, there's a good chance you might see Goku and Beerus both have a mastered Ultra Instinct at that point. So both these guys, it's very possible. So Goku has all his forms, plus a Grade 8, plus a Super Saiyan 4 variant, plus Super Saiyan Blue and God added onto those forms, or probably Super Saiyan God. Then he has Ultra Instinct, Master Ultra Instinct, probably, for God's sake, a Super Saiyan 4 Master Ultra Instinct. Oh dear God. Goku may arguably be stronger than Beerus at this point, with everything else added on there. So, the question is, where does it go from there? Well, Beerus is already awake, so you don't factor in him waking up. If anything, we cut to Bulma's 39th birthday or 38th, so they're having a good time on the ship. And instead of Beerus is now a welcome guest along with Whis, and they're enjoying themselves. There's no need for the Super Saiyan God whole issue, so nothing serious happens there. Maybe Goku and him have a great little fun after dinner spar, and they're enjoying themselves. They all make sure to still be respectful of Beerus because he is still the god of destruction. He could destroy the entire planet on a will, but with Goku and Whis there and everything, I'm sure they feel confident that it's probably not going to happen. We cut to the the Resurrection F arc, and that probably does happen. That I think still happens. Only difference is when Frieza shows up in his army, Gohan's there. Gohan also has probably achieved Super Saiyan Blue at this point, so he's well above the strongest fighter in right now as opposed to Goku. Goku's probably right now busy like just doing some light training. Here's Frieza shows up, and then he just appears. He appears after the defeat of Gohan. Now, Gohan, however, doesn't get one-shotted. He shows off Super Saiyan God, and Frieza's just like, I remember that form. Your daddy did that form to defeat me and kill me last time. Well, I've got something else for him, but I think I'll give the sun the pleasure first. And then transforms the Golden Frieza. Gohan goes Super Saiyan Blue, and they have a solid fight, but Frieza would come out, I think, the winner. I don't think Gohan Super Saiyan Blue is as strong as his dad Super Saiyan Blue at that point, but Goku shows back up, and again, it's one of those things that they square off. Goku's like trying, and I was like, yeah, is this the best you've got, monkey? Oh, this is hardly the best I've got, Frieza. I just wanted to try you out, see how this form can do it. Then he actually powers up to Super Saiyan 4 or God, Primal God. We'll call it the Super Saiyan 4 God mode. So, which I like to believe looks kind of like Gogeta Super Saiyan 4, but like fiery, ethereal red hair and all that. So now he's manhandling Frieza, just blah blah blah. It's like, and this isn't all I can do. And then he goes into Ultra Instinct Omen, which he's do. He's just reacting, and then Master Ultra Instinct just. At that point, he's just completely wasting him. And Frieza doesn't even have time to reenact the other plan he had, because the guy who tries to backstab, shoot Goku in the back. Just it's like, boom, and then he just destroys Frieza before he could even blow up the planet. Cut to the Universe 6 arc. Now we got some interesting things. We got Goku, we got Gohan, we got Vegeta, got Piccolo. Who would be the fourth fight? I mean, again, this is not a scenario where Beerus would be, using Monaka at this point, because it's not a false. Because Goku at this point is training with him for so long. There's no reason to kind of do that. So who would he have on the team? Piccolo, Gohan, Goku. I imagine you could probably convince Tien and Krillin if they really tried hard. I think you could probably get them to go along with it. Definitely wouldn't do Yamcha though. So the fight, their fights commence, and I imagine Goku says, I'd like to go first. Like, Dad, you're gonna just beat everyone. Don't do it. It's like, oh, but I want. It's like, no. So it's like, all right, it's like, I'll go first. Krillin goes first, and he goes up against Batama. Now, Krillin versus Batama, I think Krillin has some initial difficulty, but Krillin is better suited than other fighters to fight in a tournament style setting. So he eventually knows how to, get the kick out his feet. Knows how to use his weaknesses against him, and does get the ring out. Then we get the Frost fight. Krillin eventually loses that, but I think Frost would still have to go into a 17. Why didn't I think 17? So 17 will replace with Tien. I blanked on that. Sorry. Krillin would probably get Frost to his third form. Then you'd have 17 come in. 17 would actually probably beat the snot out of even final form Frost. And Frost's poison, I don't think would work as effectively on him because he's a cyborg. He's still technically human. He does have biological parts and stuff like that, but the cyborg part of him, I don't think it would work as effectively. Might still work, but it wouldn't just fully knock him out. He'd feel woozy, and things like he would actually point out he cheated and all that. So he'd be disqualified straight out. And 17 would be like, I don't think I can participate here. I'm feeling oof. So then you get to Piccolo going up against Magerta, which was it Magerta? Yeah, it was Magerta. And that would actually be a pretty cool fight. I think Piccolo would win the fight overall. A special beam cannon would break the barrier and stuff like that, and could probably just drill through the magma that Magerta would spew out. Ultimately, though, Piccolo would probably lose to Kaba, simply because Kaba was shown to be stronger. Or at least as strong in base form as Vegeta, who was probably stronger in base form than Piccolo at that point. Then you would cut to Gohan versus Kaba. Gohan would beat Kaba pretty soundly, though I think he would probably give him some advice in training. He would go Super Saiyan. Gohan eventually beat him. hit versus Gohan, Gohan would probably lose, but he might get a 1 or 2 hits in on a hit. And then Goku goes up against it, and just immediately goes Super Saiyan Blue, or maybe not immediately, but the minute he goes into any higher powered form, particularly the Ultra Instinct form, I don't think Hit could do much unless he tries to use that time cage on Goku. Ultimately, though, Goku would end up beating Hit, I imagine, simply on the grounds his Ultra Instinct could counter a lot of the time skip jumps. So yeah, I think we'll leave it there for right now. The Universe 6 arc is still won by Universe 7, this time legitimately. So thanks for watching. That's where we're going to leave it, and we got one more video to do in this matchup. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. And ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superhero, Magic, What If, anything I do on the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. So thanks for watching. See you next time, folks.